What's going on, my fellow A-plussers? Welcome back once again to a brand new episode of A-Plus Morphinominal, your weekly stop for your Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider review and news right here on our YouTube page. It is I, your Morphinominal host, Adam Perez, back once again, kicking off our weekend right. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a stacked episode today, guys. We got a ton of stuff we're going to be getting into, some Zenkaiger news as we wind up having the press conference this past week. So we're going to be looking and examining the brand new trailer that wind up dropping, the brand new voice actors that are going to be playing our Kikainoids. So a ton of stuff for us to certainly get into. We've got some Ludi Lin stuff to go ahead and jump into, along with the Power Rangers issue number 3 preview for you guys today. So trust me when I say definitely a very, very stacked episode. So thank you very much for certainly joining us. I hope your weekend has certainly started off correctly as well. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic Friday evening and hopefully joining your Saturday pretty well. We're also going live on our Facebook page as well, guys. So if you haven't been following us on social media, please go ahead and do so. You can find us on Facebook. We're very active over on Twitter, as well as our Instagram and Twitch for you guys as well. You know, I was going to do a Zenkaiger video the other day after the press conference, but it was so close to Saturday, I decided to go ahead and wait just a little bit longer and just highlight everything in this week's episode for you guys. So we're going to be getting into a ton of stuff. We even got some Dino Fury for you guys here today as well. And of course, your guys' live viewer questions. If you do want to go ahead and submit a live viewer question, and how can you do that? I'm glad you asked. Certainly go ahead and submit them over to aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. Again, that's aplusmorphinominal@gmail.com. You can go ahead and submit your live viewer questions over anytime during the show. And at the end of the show, we definitely will go ahead and tackle your questions just to make sure that what you want to say certainly gets brought onto air, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely go ahead and do that whenever you guys get the chance. And again, we'll get to them at the end of this episode. Who's in the live chat with us today? I feel like we got quite a few people in here today. Matthew certainly coming through. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you, man. We got Power Rangers in your area. Appreciate you coming through, Alec. Fire Drake in the house, man. Thank you very much. Dino Rehearsal Fury. I kind of dig the name. What's up, man? Good to certainly see you here. Who else we got? We got Blossom in the house. Johnny Morero's in here. Put him in the body bag. Yeah. Good to see you, man. Who else we got? We got Ram Jam in here as well. And of course, guys, listen, if we have any stragglers that wind up coming on board as the episode continues, certainly make everybody feel welcome and at home for sure. Got my trusty cup of coffee today, so I feel like we're probably going to go ahead and... This is kind of weird. What's up, Yoda? What's up, man? I didn't even know the girlfriend had this mug, honestly, until she handed it to me today. Who else we got in here? Jack, good to see you, man. Appreciate it. He says, this is now my PR news source. Well, hey, man, you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place. And then we got Yusai in here as well, man. Thank you very much, guys, for swinging by today. I was actually really excited to talk about this episode with you guys because one of the things that I've been anticipating for quite some time has been that Zenkaiger trailer, to say the least. You know, we've been keeping you guys up to date of all the Zenkaiger information that we've been coming across, whether it be confirmed stuff, whether it be grains of salt rumors. So to kind of see this all come full fruition now, knowing that we're about to get ourselves a Zenkaiger series here in like 2 months or so, less than 2 months. Super pumped. So we did have ourselves a press conference. You know, we've pretty much have been given insight into a lot of the big sort of points that you would kind of expect going into a Super Sentai season, right? The cast, the crew, plot summary, plot details, photos, scans, and now we finally have ourselves a trailer, like the last sort of missing piece to all this puzzle to kind of get us even fully more hyped for what we were certainly going to be getting. We do have ourselves a Zenkaiger episode 0 that's supposed to be dropping, if I'm not mistaken, in February. I think it's going to be in its own like little small cinematic film or something like that. So we definitely have that to look forward to. I'm hoping similar to Kara that winds up dropping early as well, so that we can review that before episode 1 drops. I think they probably dropped, if I'm not mistaken, I think about the same week that episode 1 was supposed to drop, and they dropped 0 first and then episode 1. So I'm hoping that they keep it along those same lines, honestly, and we're able to bring you an episode 0. Because for me, when I watched Kara episode 0, I honestly thought it was pretty informative going into the actual season itself. I almost felt it was almost imperative for people to certainly watch that particular episode if they certainly didn't. So I'm having a feeling that Zenkaiger episode 0 is going to have that same feel, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's see here. Who else is in here? We got Shadow Nova as well. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through. Jack says Star Wars is about to go full Yoda with a new era, telling the story of young Yoda and his master. Yeah, we'll see what they do with Yoda here, but I just thought it was a really cool mug. Wise I am. Yoda. Anyway. Let's get into this news, guys. Let's start breaking this down because the very first topic that we're going to be getting into real quick is, in fact, going to be the Zenkaiger trailer itself. As I've loved these suits, to be honest with you. I feel like the Zenkaiger suit, when we first saw it in the leaked photo, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. But once the actual official images started kind of rolling out and you can kind of see the color schemes a little bit better, the angles, and really all the fine details of the costume, talk about just really popping out at me and just winning me over. Not only Zenkaiger, but the rest of his crew as well just kind of won me over. And one of the things that I always felt was missing was I really need to see this in action. I really need to see what the costumes look like, what the movement's going to look like, especially, we're so used to the idea of 5 humans. How is it going to work for these other 4 who are robots to have to sort of fight in their civilian modes also, if you will, or maybe their pop-up, their power-up modes, if you will, as well. So that's really what I was kind of looking forward to. And we got a little bit of a tease of that here in the trailer. But I think it looks great, to be honest with you. I truly do love what this trailer wound up bringing me today. I've actually watched it a few times. On Twitter, they do have a couple of different trailers. Well, I don't want to say different trailers, but they do have the actual trailer that was showcased at the press conference, and then they did have one that was actually subbed in English, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So they have been trying to make it available for everybody if you wanted to check it out. So let me go ahead and pull this up here. I'm not going to have the audio on because I'm not trying to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? But I did. This is actually, again, KR Sentai here. They went ahead and actually posted this. First off, I love the shot here of getting the opportunity to see our main character really kind of face to face with Aqua Ranger himself. We're actually doing Go Ranger reviews for our Patreon right now. It's just simply exclusive for Patreon, but we are kind of doing reaction videos for Go Ranger. So I'm actually getting introduced a little bit more to Aqua Ranger, his personality, his teammates, and things like that. So to see him pop up in here, I mean, listen, Aqua Ranger, big one. They always will have a huge sort of influence when it comes to Super Sentai. Will always be around for decades to come, I'm sure. So for me, really cool to kind of see Aqua Ranger be the one to kind of give our main character here in Zenkaiger sort of his Super Sentai gear, or his Sentai gear, if you will, to go ahead and start things off. I mean, talk about taking the power and having it passed down to you, right? I mean, that's big shoes to fill for sure. And there's our main character as well. Some really great shots here, just kind of showcasing this beautiful, beautiful suit. I mean, it continues to grow on me each and every time I watch it. And I will say this, kudos to whoever did design this suit, because I did showcase this to my girlfriend yesterday. She was asking me what I was working on, so I was showcasing her the brand new trailer that wound up dropping, and we watched it all the way through. And she was like, "Oh, is that their new suits?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was actually a really big fan of Zenkaiger. She really loved the color scheme, the concept of the rainbows and things like that on him. So to be able to impress somebody that is on the outside kind of looking in, I think really goes a long way, to be perfectly honest with you. So I love this shot too. We actually used this for our thumbnail. So I thought that was an actually beautiful shot. Getting an opportunity to see all the Kikainoids. This I thought was pretty cool too, because we talked about the idea of the Kikainoids being able to grow and fight the monsters on their own as well. So they do have a solo modes here, as you get the opportunity to see Jurin here. It looks like he goes from not only his civilian mode, but to his power up mode, as we've seen him so many times in these pictures, to then being able to grow and taking down some of these monsters. And I love the set design here too. Just the shot, the angles that you wind up getting in here. I don't know where all these mushrooms are coming from. I'm clearly thinking that the villains maybe do have some sort of mushroom inspiration to them. I'm wondering if when they come to attack, if they just infest the city that they're in, or whatever the case may be. but I do think that that's a pretty cool a shot and angle and just design of just some of the set pieces. This is where we get the opportunity to see Jurin and Gown kind of put together. You know, they've talked about the idea of some of these sets being able to combine with one another, two of the Kikainoids being able to form one another, and this is where we got Jurin and Gown together. Fantastic, absolutely a beautiful Zord battle here. I would be really curious to kind of see what the maneuverability of the Zord is going to be too. You know, one of my things that while I wasn't the biggest fan of the Real Soldier series itself, one of the things that I did take away that I absolutely loved was the fact of how that Zord can just move around so seamlessly, right? Which is like no trouble at all. Made for some amazing fight sequences when it comes to the Zords. So I'm kind of hoping that we get maybe a little of that played up here too. In this series here. We also get the opportunity to see his grandmother involved also, which I thought was pretty cool, along with Jurin and Zenkaiger also. I feel like, you know, I feel like this trailer is not complete with being complete fire if you don't have grandma holding a gear slinger herself. I mean, you got the huge explosion in the background. Zenkaiger chilling with his grandma. I mean, talk about just family ties here, guys. I mean, I just think this is an incredible shot that they've got Granny in on the fight also. Just absolutely amazing. And we did get the opportunity to see Vroom a little bit kind of fighting with, it looks like maybe his pickaxe or whatever, his own particular weapon that he's using. Getting everybody to see them using the gear slinger as well. And I love this shot too. It looks like we've got the Zenkaiger character in the middle of a bunch of other Super Sentai seasons here. I'm wondering if this is actually going to be episode 0 itself. Or what that case is in regards to him actually meeting everybody, right? Like this, when I look at this could easily be just a promo shot, but the idea that they do have Zenkaiger actually talking amongst all these other Super Sentai seasons, I am kind of curious as to how they all get there in order to kind of give them his powers, if you will. So yeah, maybe we are looking at some episode 0 clips here, if you will, in regards to kind of promoting this trailer. Maybe the first couple episodes. Again, and the idea of the monsters possibly being mushroom themed is a possibility, because I think the gentleman in here, the monster in here, when you look at the English subtitle, references the idea that he's a mushroom. We've already seen the mushroom concept with the Zord fight as well. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this is all going to play out. But overall, guys, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with everything that I've seen so far from this trailer alone. You know, we didn't get to see too much action, but that's more than fine. I just needed to kind of see what that suit looks like in actual daylight, you know, actually being out in the open with movement. And you know what? Take my money already. Take my money already. You know, I have a brother that lives out in Japan. And I was just talking to him the other day because they did roll out some of the, you know, Bandai's toys for Zenkaiger that they were going to be releasing. And they seem like they're relatively cheap for the most part. And I was kind of asking him because, you know, I don't know that the currency exchange between yen and US dollars. So I was trying to reach out to my brother and was like, hey, if you ever want to get me anything for my birthday or Christmas or whatever the case may be, Super Sentai merchandise would be fantastic. If you can just ship that from Japan to me, that would be absolutely fantastic. So I might actually end up picking up some of the action figures for Zenkaiger. I actually have been looking at Amazon and possibly maybe looking to try and pick some of those up. So we'll certainly see. Again, I've never really been one to kind of collect action figures. If I were going to collect them, it probably would be the SH Figwarts, honestly. But I don't believe we're getting a Figwarts of any of these characters, with the exception of maybe Zenkaiger himself, which I definitely want to pick out. But I do love the idea that the toys that they are releasing, that some of them do have articulation still involved with them, the ability to be able to put some of the sets together for the Kikainoids. I think those are pretty fun. They look pretty neat, honestly. So I might actually start trying to pick up some of these Zenkaiger toys, because I've been really impressed with what I've seen so far. But Listen, guys, that's not the only thing that they wanted to go ahead and certainly share with us. We did have some extra information. It did say that today Toei had their official press conference for the next installment of Super Sentai. As previously been reported, the new series will commemorate the 45th anniversary of the franchise, whereas its premise will feature our heroes attempting to save their worlds and the parallel worlds. However, unlike previous series in the franchise, the leader will be human and the remaining members will consist of robots. They are referred to as Kikonoids. And we do have a little bit of a update here in regards to some of these characters. Leading the Zenkaigers, we've got Kato. Kato Gashikita is a young man trying to be the world's first in any field of profession. He's usually a carefree idiot, but when he is driven, he becomes a hot-blooded hero. Zenkaiger will be portrayed by Kita Komajin. And I wanted to bring up Kita Komajin here real quick because it's so funny. We actually, last week, we wind up doing a Zenkaiger cast rumors, if you will. And to be perfectly honest with you, when we did do our cast rumors, the one thing that I said at the top, all rumors, guys. These are going to be all rumors. Take these as a grain of salt, and they all turned out to be rumors. None of the rumors that we talked about last week on who the Zenkaiger cast is going to be even made it, even made it to this list. So I did kind of chuckle at myself a little bit. That's why they call it grains of salt, ladies and gentlemen. But I did find it interesting here that we do have ourselves Kita Komajin, who's going to be playing our main character in Zenkaiger, also known as Kato Gashikita. And listen, very much a newcomer when it comes to just acting in general. This guy, if you go over to his IMDb page, literally only has like one other thing on his plate that he's actually performed in, and not even like a full season, if I'm not mistaken, just several or a few episodes. So this is really truly going to be a newcomer perspective into Super Sentai, somebody that clearly they were impressed with when it came to casting and thought that he just maybe had that it factor to maybe go ahead and bring Zenkaiger certainly to life. So introducing again the character Kato Gashikita, played by Kita Komajin. So let's keep our fingers crossed for him, man. You know, it still kind of worries me a little bit anytime that they reference the idea of you know, he's like a carefree idiot. Sometimes I wonder if that means like he's over the top friendly also. Like, I just don't want this guy to be a complete annoyance. You know what I mean? I like the idea of them saying that he's a hot-blooded hero. It definitely seems as though maybe when he transforms, he gets a little bit more serious when it comes to the concepts and the ideas of being a hero and saving the world. So maybe we'll see a rather heroic aspect of him as well. But let's also go ahead and focus a little bit on the Kikonoids, who are really, if you ask me, out of this press conference, aside from the trailer, really the main focal pieces here. The first setup that we wind up having here, guys, let me go ahead and bring up the first gentleman. To go ahead and actually play Jurin, who we wind up actually getting to see his sort of civilian mode form, if you will, very much inspired by Geki Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. So I believe his costume is it Geki Ranger inspired? I can't remember. Somebody was rocking those shorts. I can't remember what Super Sentai season it was that was rocking those shorts that he is. But I'm really loving his look. I have a feeling he's definitely going to be certainly a main character out of this team. Some of the things that I have read before, he's going to be getting along really, really well with the main character in Kato as well. But here we've got Jurin. It says, when transformed, his suit based on the mecha Dai Jujin from Zyuranger. It says Jurin's personality is that of a cool uncle, but he's also known for being very stubborn. The voice actor that's going to play him is Shintaro Asanuma. Shintaro Asanuma is actually who's going to be doing the voice for Jurin there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Second member here, we've got Gaon, who's Zenkai Gaon. When transformed, his suit resembles Gao King from Gao Ranger. It says that he does prefer nature and animals more than machines, which is fascinating because he's a machine himself. This is actually going to be voiced by Yuki Kaji. Again, this is Yuki Kaji or Kaji Yuki. I've seen it several different places, but Yuki Kaji is in fact going to be playing Gown. And I absolutely love his costume design. The idea of the dreadlocks as his mane, very reminiscent to me, if you ask me, of Zoojr in many ways. So I am fascinated to see what they do there. Next up, we have ourselves the third member of the Kikainoids in Zenkai Majin. And guys, I think I love the design of her. I think honestly, between her and Gown, easily my two favorite designs here for the Kikainoids. I'm hoping that they just give her a fantastic personality to go with just her amazing looks. The only female model among this the Kikainoids team. When transformed, her suit resembles that of the Magi King from Magi Ranger. Providing the voice of Majin is Yumi Miyamoto. Yumi Miyamoto will in fact be doing the voice for Majin, Yumi Miyamoto. And then last but not least, guys, we do have Vroom here, Mr. Optimus Prime himself, the final member of the Kikainoids. Vroom, he resembles Go-Go Daibuken. Voicing Vroom is going to be Takuya Sato. Takuya Sato is the gentleman that's going to be voicing Vroom for us. And he's had some, they've all had, honestly, their own tons of experience, honestly, behind the scenes. I will say this, when it comes to Vroom's modes here, I actually really dig his civilian mode a little bit more of than his actual powered up mode. You know, they have mentioned the idea of Vroom sort of being the bookworm of the crew, you know, being the more intelligent one. Now, whether or not that means book smarts or street smarts, who certainly knows? But I dig the idea that they managed to incorporate like glasses on him. And for some reason, when I look at him, I just think like, man, this guy's such a square. Like, you know, it's because of the fact that his head is like a square. Didn't they used to like, wasn't the term square used for like nerds or geeks or people that were like uncool? Like, don't be such a square. So I'm almost wondering if that was an inspiration and maybe designing his head, if you will, to make him look even more nerdy than he certainly already is. But I actually really enjoy just his civilian mode as well. I look overall, man, I'm just totally impressed with what I've been seeing from just some of the designs that we wind up getting. We actually got some more shots too from the actual press conference itself. Get an opportunity to see Vroom and Majin there. This is the rest of the entire squad. I'm assuming they're putting these dividers between everybody for COVID restrictions. I'm assuming. I'd have no idea. I mean, everybody's pretty much wearing masks except for what is this gentleman's name? I gotta remember the main character's name through all this. Kita Komajin is the actor. Kato is Zenkaiger. Okay, I think I can remember Kato, because when I think of Kato, I automatically think of Green Hornet, the Green Hornet series. So I think I can remember Kato, to be perfectly honest with you guys. But I'm really liking everything that I've seen here, man. They have not disappointed me at all. Again, this also says Kato Gashikita lives with his relative in Mitsuko Gashikita, who runs the candy cafe Colorful. She houses the Kikainoids at her establishment and assists the Zenkaiger in their battle. She was portrayed by actress and singer Aiku Shakakibara. I didn't mean to butcher that name if I did. Iku Sakakibara. Again, I don't mean to butcher these names, guys, but honestly, it can, you know, it's not my first language, so it can be a little bit difficult to pronounce sometimes. First off, I love the fact that we got a granny in town, man. I think that's so boss, honestly. And the fact that their base is going to be a candy cafe, I think is brilliant. I don't feel like I've ever seen a candy cafe as a base of operations for our Super Sentai team, considering just how colorful our Kikainoids are, considering just the type of personality that we're going to be getting out of our main leader in Zenkaiger. I really do dig the idea of a candy cafe sort of being their base. I'm assuming they have maybe an underground area. Who knows where the Kikainoids hide at her particular establishment? But I kind of like the sound of it, honestly. It does say, additionally, the press conference announced that the series opening theme song is performer and the series composer Performing the opening theme song is Ultraman Dine's Takeshi Soruno. It says, whereas the title of the track is Full Power Zenkaiger. It says, then for the series score, it is being provided by none other than the legendary tokusatsu composer Michiaki Watanabe, who I think like his days go back. I mean, I think his guy's like in his 90s, if I'm not mistaken, this composer. So talk about just continuing on a legacy 45 years later, because I believe he was around maybe even like since the start, guys. So I'm really excited for this. And then they break down everybody else that's going to be part of the actual crew itself. I think we have something special on our hands, guys. I truly do. I'm really pumped for this season, and I hope that you guys definitely are also. But yeah, man, the trailer and the Kikainoids really won me over. I don't really even know what else to say in regards to Zenkaiger, except for I'm ready. I'm ready, guys. I'm really ready just to see just their personalities, what the pacing of the storyline is going to be, how they're going to introduce us. Just seeing some of the inspirations that we've gotten from people that are on the crew as far as their time. Like the action suit director, if I'm not mistaken, has a countless ton of experience, but I do recall him being a suit actor on Gokaiger, and us just kind of rewatching Gokaiger right now as our early access for Patreons. And then it eventually becomes available. We do have some Gokaiger reaction videos on our YouTube page. You know, what always stands out to me is the fantastic sort of wire work and great action pieces that they wind up having. And granted, this suit actor has been involved, like not only in Gokaiger but several different other seasons. But it just makes me think that they're really going to go above and beyond when it comes to the action sets for this. So the action director, I'm fully on board with. There are going to be, I'm assuming, maybe some inspirations from like Die Ranger involved in here. Definitely, clearly some Zoologia stuff too, as some of our writers and directors all come from past Super Sentai seasons as well. So definitely not a season to certainly sleep on. I think there might be even some Go Busters kind of influences in here too. Again, if you just go based off of who's actually writing and directing this particular series. So it could be a culmination of honestly some of my really favorite and solid seasons of Super Sentai combined into one. And when you are making it something like 8th anniversary season, it makes sense that you have people that are so well versed and experienced with other Super Sentai seasons as well, to really kind of put your best foot forward for a huge anniversary season like this. We also got ourselves a huge, fantastic shot at the end of this trailer. I was actually trying to look for Gokaiger, and Gokaiger I think is all the way in the back, like very far left, like right next to Gao Red. I think that might be Gokaiger all the way in the far left, Captain Marvelous himself, which I was a little bit bummed. I was honestly thinking that maybe Captain Marvelous would be up here in the front next to Zenkaiger and Aka Ranger or whatever the case may be. So to have some of these older, or I should say more brand new seasons of Super Sentai all the way in the background, like you could even see Real Soldier back there. Like if you look at where Aka Red is to his right, I believe that's Real Soul Red's mask there also. So great explosions, great great first look at the trailer, and hopefully we'll get ourselves another trailer before the actual series itself starts. So let's go ahead and keep our fingers crossed in regards to that, guys. But listen, I want to know what you guys think. You see all the brand new photos, you get a brand new look at the Kikainoids, you see who some of the voice actors are certainly going to be. What are your thoughts? Have this gotten you even more hyped for Zenkaiger? Are you still kind of on the same hype plane as I am, or has this kind of taken away from your levels of excitement? I definitely want to know what you guys think. Look, as much as I absolutely love Kara Major, I don't want Kara Major to go anywhere. Can we just have 2 series at the same time, huh? Can we just expand Kara Major to like 80 episodes and keep bringing on with Zenkaiger? Can we do that, please? Because I really don't want to see the end of Kara Major as we're actually getting relatively close, which kind of brings a tear to my eye. Honestly, it feels like it's been a breeze of a season to get through. But I got to tell you, man, Zenkaiger right around the corner. I'm hyped. I'm so hyped. I feel like right now is the best time to be not only a Power Ranger fan, but a Super Sentai or just a Tokusatsu fan in general. I honestly feel like every franchise from the, from Super Sentai to Kamen Rider to Ultraman are really kind of trying to put their best foot forward and leave some lasting impressions. And so, yeah, man, this Reiwa era that we've been getting, this new era over in Japan has not let me down so far when it comes to Super Sentai. So I'm definitely looking forward to Zenkaiger certainly when it's here. But guys, at the end of the day, these are just my A+ opinions. I definitely want to go ahead and know yours. What did you think about the trailer? Certainly let me know your thoughts in the comment section box below. And we'll talk a little bit about that more here in just a second. Let me go through some of these comments and see what some of you guys are saying before we go ahead and actually move on. And this will give me time to go ahead and shout out to some people that might have been some late stragglers kind of coming in here. Dino, I'm assuming this is probably going to be I'm assuming this is AJ. That's a creepy coffee mug. Yoda just staring at you every time you drink. Yeah, or staring at you guys, depending on how I drink out of his head. Good sis. Let's see here. JB says, "What's in the house?" What's up, JB? Appreciate you coming through, man. Dino says, "I liked Zenkaiger trailer. Gave me Akko Barin vibes, and seeing the Rangers look like their Zords is interesting." Yeah, they definitely take influences for sure. I would be interested to see further how the Sentai gears are being utilized. I feel like that's one aspect of Zenkaiger that I haven't really just locked myself into fully understanding is how the Zenkaiger gears are certainly going to work. I just know that, hey, they give you abilities and do some cool stuff, but we'll certainly see. I'll have to look a little bit more into it. If you guys do want to learn a little bit more about Sentai gears, there's another great YouTube channel out there, Go Mango. Him, along with the real Matt Hunt and a couple of other his buddies, they did a great sort of live streaming during the press conference, having somebody as informative as Matt Hunt on the stream to kind of really break things down for them, I thought was brilliant. So yeah, if you definitely want to learn more about Zenkaiger and Sentai gears, check out Go Mango whenever you get the opportunity. Look, I don't have a problem sending other people to other YouTube channels, right? Like for me, we're all in this community together. Honestly, I think we should all be helping each other at the end of the day. So when I want people to subscribe to my channel, I never tell them leave those other people that you're watching. If you still have other people you watch, Phil, that's awesome. We just want you to join our family for sure. So if you want to join Go Mango's family too, the more the merrier for everybody, honestly. So yeah, he does some great work. So definitely go ahead and check him out whenever you get the chance. But the Sentai gears is definitely one element I want to get more knowledgeable on. What's up? Jackie says the Zords were like, who need those Rangers? Let's just do this thing. yeah, pretty much. They're just like, we don't need these humans to beckon us to kind of do all their dirty work for them. We're just gonna do it ourselves. We're just gonna grow ourselves and take these guys out. Mike Knight Hero, what's up, Mike Knight? He says, hey, Adam, what's up, man? Zenkaiger trailer was fantastic. Yeah, it certainly was. About a minute long or so, but a really great sort of tease into what we're certainly going to be getting. I personally wouldn't mind maybe a 2-minute tease, maybe something a little bit longer before we get there, but we'll see if we wind up getting ourselves another one. If not, listen, this is a perfect little tease for me to kind of jump into Zenkaiger blind if this is the last opportunity to get to kind of see them. But one of the things that it does highlight to me, again, the Kikainoids, good old Granny, because a Granny with a gun and an explosion behind her. Come on, how can this season not be good? And then you've got clearly a main character in Zenkaiger that truly wants to be a hero and save the world. So we'll see exactly if he's going to put his best foot forward. So we'll see. Yusai says, so random thoughts. Looking at the team lineup, we don't have a Black or Green Ranger to be represented in this anniversary season. Chances that our 6th Ranger is one of those. Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards that, Yusai. Just looking at the color scheme, I feel like the only color that's kind of missing there is green. I think black would be cool, don't get me wrong. But if they are kind of trying to stick with maybe the colorful themes, if you will. I think green would make for a really great a great second, or a great sixth ranger. And I've already kind of suggested the theme for the Green Ranger that I would like. I really would like it to be more martial arts theme. Like, so for me, I wouldn't mind them doing the Dire Ranger, the Dire Ranger theme for perhaps their Green Ranger. We'll see. We'll see what they wind up doing with for their, if they do have a green Kikainoid at some particular point in time. But yeah, the possibilities are going to be endless, man. I'm excited to see who the potential sixth will be at some particular point in time. Johnny agrees. He thinks the trailer looked awesome as well. Yeah, I agree also. Yusai also says, Adam, what are the chances that you feel that the sixth ranger, if we even have one, but chances are we will, would be human or another robot? I would love uh I would love a human. I thought I didn't realize it said 1 out of 2. I was like, you want a half a human? And then I realized, oh, that's message 1 of 2. So I would love a human black sixth version of the Zenkaiger suit. That would be pretty neat. Who's to say? I mean, maybe we do get ourselves a human sixth ranger. I guess that's also a possibility, right? I mean, I will say this: they are really pushing the idea of, hey, look, guys, look how unique this season is, right? 1 human, 4 robots. So they've really been kind of playing that up a little bit. So it does make me wonder if because they've been playing up that theme, if they want all the additional rangers to also be Kikainoids as well, to continue to add to that uniqueness of the team, or if they want to break it up by adding a human in there. Who certainly knows, Yusai? But I would be cool with either of those selections, man. Either of those choices. I think those are some great options. What's up, Noah? Noah certainly coming through as we're talking about the Zenkaiger trailer and the introduction to some of our Kikainoids. And Dino says, really, a grandma? Why do I feel this series is basically a Kiba Ranger, but an official team instead of just a joke? Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely don't think that this is certainly going to be a joke. I definitely feel like it'll certainly have its humorous moments for sure. Maybe it's a family dynamic, some heroism for sure involved. But yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with the granny getting her hands dirty. Also, look, if she can shoot, she can fight. Okay, so let's get Granny in there. Also, I will be interested to see exactly, like, is she gonna just be the comedic element in here too? Is she really gonna get her hands dirty, or is she just gonna look cool for explosions and stuff? So a part of me kind of wonders, like how big of a role she's gonna have. I mean, she is clearly gonna be the person running the candy cafe, which is going to be their base. But I also wonder if this is going to kind of be like the grandfather from Real Soldier, the old man, that was the archaeologist, or was doing all the hunting for dinosaur fossils and things like that. So I'm used to the idea of at least introducing us to another family member from one of the members of the team. So this certainly doesn't surprise me, but we'll see how Granny does here. Ralph, what's up, Ralph? Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate you certainly coming through. Jack says, why did your brother move to Japan? Well, my brother, when we were younger, I'm older than him. I'm about 10 years older. He's 28. But growing up as kids, I was big into anime at the time. I used to watch Dragon Ball Z a ton, along with like Cowboy Bebop. I used to watch a ton. I used to watch a ton of anime, man. And growing up, he used to just sit by me and just watch all the time. And I think he wound up just kind of getting influenced by Japanese culture a lot. I think it had a really big impact on his life, because even when he even before he went to high school, he started to try and self-teach himself Japanese. He was always big into video games too. He always just watched me play Final Fantasy all the time. So a lot of Sony, Japanese sort of content we really grew up on as kids. And so he found a love for it. He wound up trying to teach himself Japanese for the most part. He went to a tech high school and they offered Japanese as a language, so he took that in high school. And then he also took Japanese, I don't think it was his major, I think it might have been his minor, in college. But yeah, he definitely knows Japanese. And so he always wanted to get involved in like video games or working for a big corporation and things like that. In regards to gaming, he was a great artist and stuff like that. So trying to utilize his things for that particular world. I think his path clearly took him down a different route though, like sales and marketing and stuff like that. But he's still trying to work towards his dream. But one of his aspects was to move to Japan, not only so that he can get himself the job that he's always wanted to, but also for him to learn it much more fluently. I mean, I always felt my brother did a great job of learning Japanese, but there were aspects of him being a little bit shy, not necessarily wanting to have to use it in public unless he was absolutely forced to, right? So while he knew it, he didn't necessarily know it fluently. And so I think the idea of him moving to Japan was certainly a way for that to happen and for him to accomplish one of his biggest dreams that he's always had for himself. So I've always admired my little brother for being that committed to something and making his dreams come true. And granted, while I know that he's still working to get to the field that he wants to be in, the fact that he literally upped and moved and went to a whole nother country and establishing a life for himself, I think that's absolutely fantastic, man. Very inspirational. So whatever you guys want to do in your lives, trust me when I say anything is possible, man. You can accomplish anything. And I always use my brother as a perfect example of that. So that's why he moved to Japan. I haven't seen him in like 2 years. Like that is the benefit, that is the downside to him being out there. But sometimes when we do get these announcements of trademarks and what does this all mean? Even though I do have like people like the real Matt Hunt on Twitter that I can easily go to and see like what his breakdown and deciphering of what these series titles might mean. Trust me when I say I also very much go to my brother first and foremost to kind of see what he's saying and seeing what his perspective and point of view certainly is on things over there as well. So yeah, now I just got to get my brother to start sending me some damn merchandise. That's the key. Um, and don't worry, Noah, I'll get back to that question of yours. I see it here I'm just going to answer it now. It's not really Zenkaiger related, but I'll throw it in there. Why do you think people are waiting for an announcement we will never get about Hasbro not using Super Sentai for Power Rangers after Dino Fury? I think we will get an announcement, Noah. I think we will get an announcement, just not yet. You don't want to take away from a brand new show in Dino Fury. So I'm awaiting after probably Dino Fury premieres for Hasbro to kind of make a big announcement in regards to their overall plans or what they have in store for Power Rangers. So yeah, I do think at some point in time it will, but I'm not expecting any announcement before Dino Fury at all. Let's see here. Matthew says, I already love the photos of the Zenkaiger suit, but after the trailer, I'm getting a bit more excited to see it down the road. Yeah, me too. I really want to see what the fighting style of each of these individuals are going to be. We briefly got to see a Vroom fight. It looks like with maybe like a pickaxe or some type of hammer or whatever the case might be. But that's really all that we saw, right? And then maybe Jurin, slicing away with his gigantic sword at one of the gigantic monsters. But civilian mode wise, like for me, that's really what I'm anticipating, is to see what the fighting styles are going to be like for all these Kikanoids. Like, how do you move in all that stuff, right? Like, I feel like it's got to be just cumbersome to kind of move around. So what type of movements are we going to get? What type of fighting styles are we going to get? So I am eager to see. But yeah, just the photos alone, man, they've won me over already. Let's see here. Mike Knight says Zenkaiger, the leader, is really going to be the heart of the team. He might be annoying, but he will be the one the others will look up to. You're probably right about that, Mike Knight Hero. And this also does go back to People talking about the idea like they don't believe that they're going to be invested or attached to Zenkaiger because of the fact that four of these members are in fact robots, right? And I feel like just from the trailers that we've seen, just from some of the character descriptions, I feel very much like all these characters are going to have just personalities that just pop, that are just going to be just so natural and just fit so well with Zenkaiser, that the chemistry is going to be there, and we're not even going to forget that they're, we're just going to forget that they're robots for the most part. I feel like I just think that, when I think of this team, I very much go back to Go Busters and the idea of what they were able to do with their buddy roids, right? Like, even though they weren't necessarily on the front lines with the team, make no mistake, they were still very heavily involved in every storyline. And clearly our Go Busters certainly depended on them, right? And so really made for a fantastic sort of family dynamic where you felt for these people, these buddy roids, even though they certainly weren't human. So just because they're not human, I don't think we should devalue just what fantastic writing and great character building can certainly do. And I think people should certainly still give it a chance, even if they feel there's going to be a disconnect, because what can they relate to? You know what I mean? You might be surprised. You might be surprised. Is all I'm saying. I've seen Super Sentai do that before. But yeah, Zenkaiger probably is going to be very much the heart of this team for sure. Power Rangers in your area. I love the suit though. I love the suit too, man. I truly do love the suit. I think the suit just pops. J Day, what's up, J Day? Zhu Ranger in here. What's good, man? Good to see you, J Day. Thank you for coming by. Yes, reminding me as to where Jurin is certainly based off of. That's what it is. Geki. I was like, Geki? And that's why I had Geki off the top of my on the tip of my tongue. So thank you. Dino says, wait, so the Rangers will look different morph, but then change to what their Zords look like? Like red looks like MMPR Dino Megazord. Right. So let me go ahead and pull this back up again. So yes, you're going to have Jurin here, who's going to be in his civilian mode to the left. This is what he just looks like as his Kikainoid. I'm assuming when he transforms along with Kato to turn into the Zenkaiger team, this is the form to the right is certainly what he's going to look like there. And then I'm assuming under everything that we've seen so far, he's probably going to grow into that same form with weapons, right? But then he also has the ability to, I'm assuming, if anything, transform again with another Kikainoid in Gown, or I believe another one also. But the one that we saw in the trailer, I believe, was at least was Gown. So there will be another form, if you will. So yeah, these Kikainoids honestly are like one man armies. I feel like they're doing everything. I really do feel like that. Jack says, hopefully the monster suits are better this season. It would not be hard. It would not be hard like the Monster of the Week designers are awful in the current show. I've actually really liked the costume designs for the current show, just because of the fact that I get what they're doing as far as like clearly a callback to the early Super Sentai seasons from like back in the 70s, early 80s kind of stuff. Just the human form with the cool masks. Sometimes hit or miss, but sometimes I really like it. But I can see why some people wouldn't like it though, Jack. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there. But yeah, I'm hoping the monster suits are going to be pretty interesting. The fact that just from the trailer alone, we've seen a lot of mushroom inspired stuff. I'm wondering if that's just what that one monster is going to bring, or if the monsters have sort of a mushroom theme about them, if you will. If that's the case, can we get Crayon back? Can I get a surviving Crayon to somehow do a real soldier and Zenkaiger crossover event? I would be down for that. What is Crayon up to these days? James, what's up, James? Appreciate you coming through. Good to have you here, man. Good to have you, James. Mike Nike says Vroom Civilian looks like Billy and Beast Morpher Blue mixed together. You're absolutely right. It does look like it does look a little bit like Smash or Gorosaki from Go Busters or Beast Morphers mixed in with Billy. It's like if one of them had a baby, what would it look like? It's Vroom. I love it. All right, guys. If anything, I'll probably go back. Who else? Oh, Frankie. What's up, Frankie? Appreciate you coming by. Who's the bad guy? I don't know who the bad. I feel like they've mentioned them before. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see if they don't give me. I can't remember the name of the organization or the people that they're trying to face off against. I'll have to look it up again, man. They did mention them though. They have mentioned them in the past, but off the top of my head, I'm drawing a complete blank to be honest with you. All right, I think that's all the new stragglers that might have been in here. So we're gonna go ahead and actually move on to Isaiah. What's up, Isaiah? Appreciate you coming through. We also wind up having Captain RGD says CW couldn't have a crossover. Will Dino Fury? I don't know if Dino Fury certainly will or not. We're gonna get into that though here in just a little bit, Captain RGD. But thank you very much, man, for certainly coming by. All right. We are going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. But listen, guys, feel free to continue to give your thoughts about Zenkaiger. If anything, by the end, when we get to live viewer questions and when I jump into the live comments, if there's still more comments, we'll definitely continue to talk about it for sure. I feel like I heard a noise on my computer and I'm trying to wonder where it came from. I'm like, oop, did something drop? Did I miss something? So hopefully not. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and continue along here with our brand new topic that I want to explore. What is the next topic up here? We talked about that, the cast, the trailer of Zenkaiger. You know what? Let's get into some Dino Fury talk, ladies and gentlemen. Why not? Because this week we wind up having ourselves our first set videos. Now, mind you, these set videos actually do come back, I think, from like November. So they have been on Facebook or on the internet for a while, but it seems as though maybe we're just now kind of coming across to them, because if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the Dino Fury cast itself is currently on a break. I think they wind up giving them for a holiday break. I don't know if they came back or not. I know they said they usually have was it like a 2-week break in between maybe filming? I could be wrong. I don't know if they're back to filming yet or not, but I believe when I look deeper into these set videos, I do believe that they're actually from last year, when filming was certainly taking place. But kudos to the Power Scoop for bringing this to our attention. This is where I actually first saw it from, was the Power Scoop on Twitter. And they did have links to the Facebook page in which they were actually able to find these set photos. So I thought it would be pretty cool to kind of to highlight some of these a little bit and kind of explore just to see what it is like behind the scenes. So let me close this here, pull this up. Yes, there we go. All right. Yeah, so we do have ourselves a couple of, this is just a 12-second video here, getting the opportunity to see the team. This is from Bronwyn Verlinden. Bronwyn Verlinden. So shout out to her for posting this. November 9th. My view today, Power Rangers filming in my front yard. A bit distracting when I'm trying to work. Wish the council would clean the pond. But yeah, so Bronwyn Verlinden went ahead and actually posted this for us, guys. I'm getting to see Kai Moya as the Blue Ranger Ollie taking down one of the minions this year. So I thought that was pretty cool. The other one here, one of my favorites, just because we get to see that Crayon and Weisel from Real Soldier are in fact going to be back in some capacity. I wasn't quite sure if they were going to utilize it. Some people have been asking, are we going to get all original villains? Will we get some original villains here or there? I'm assuming, if anything, clearly we're going to be getting some of the characters from the past from Real Soldier. But I am hoping that maybe there's at least one original villain in here. But I'm thrilled, and I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, Campbell Cooley, are you any of these characters? are you Weisel? Are you Crayon? I'm kind of curious, Campbell. Let somebody know. Let us know, man, if you're going to be in Dino Fury this year. But keep a lookout for Crayon and Weisel. I'll be interested to see what they name them this time around. We also get to see Chance Perez in here as the Black Ranger. It looks like he's handing something over to them, it looks like. I'm wondering if it's like a bargaining chip or a bargaining tool, like, hey, you can have this if you give us something, because Crayon just goes over and just sits on it. So I'm kind of curious as to what he's handing over there. Let's see here. What was the other video she had? Oh, this is some stunt work or some work here with one of the monsters, which I love the fact that they have the pad and he just completely misses the pad. Like, like, hey man, we want to make sure that you're comfortable and that you land safely, and he just completely misses the entire he misses the entire mat. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool to see some monster work also. And this was pretty cool too, seeing some of the stunt men and maybe women. Looking at this, AJ was laughing because he thinks that there's a male stunt there's a stunt man in pink, in Dino Pink, but I honestly think that's a female. Just kind of looking, it's hard to see from just this angle, it's so far out, but definitely to me at least, it looks like it's a female, just with like short hair. But who knows these days, guys, to be honest with you. But really cool just to kind of see the stunt unit kind of prepping and stuff, because that kind of picks up pace a little bit here. Just a little back and forth training kind of then unfolds into a little bit more movement now that they've kind of gotten some of their technique down, and then that just goes from there to full-fledged freaking battle. You see the cameraman in the middle aiming towards the Rangers. I always see, and then as the charge begins, they run to the side. Love that angle, and all of a sudden mayhem breaks loose, and you just get to see the cameraman getting all the action together. So really great stuff to kind of see what's taking place behind the scenes for Dino Fury as it's getting itself ready for its very first season. But yeah, man, I love getting an opportunity to just see what it's like on set, and how everybody kind of works together and really puts together one of our favorite shows, honestly. So, even Weisel's getting in on there. Okay, man. And again, I don't know if that's what their names are going to be when we actually get to the season itself, but I thought it was pretty fascinating. So shout out to, again, Bronwyn Verlinden for going ahead and showcasing us some of those fantastic fight sequences that we wind up seeing here. So yeah, man, first off, I think the cast is continuing to just grow on me each and every day. While I absolutely love the Beast Morphers cast, it's really great to see that same sort of level of enthusiasm over for the Dino Fury cast. I really recommend checking them out on Instagram if you get a chance. Not in the creepy way, but I mean, like, just follow them for some really great insight and just kind of seeing what their personalities are like, and just really how appreciative they certainly are of even having this role in the first place. Like, Russell Curry did a fantastic video sometime last week, I think maybe just before or just at the time that their break kind of came up, and he was like, I may be off of social media for a while. I just kind of want to enjoy, the idea of like this opportunity and being in such a beautiful place. I don't know where they took them at, but wherever the cast wind up going to kind of enjoy some free time to themselves, just beautiful, man. Like, New Zealand just does not fail when it comes to just impressing you on a visual note. I mean, it's just breathtaking every time I see all the stuff that this cast is certainly doing. So I love that they're being able to find time for themselves, find some time to maybe explore New Zealand when they're not in the midst of all the all the acting and everything that they're kind of and training and everything that they're kind of putting together. So again, while this necessarily isn't the cast doing the fighting, clearly the stunt men and women certainly doing that here. It's just really cool to kind of see behind the scenes of a show that we're going to be getting our hands on here within the next couple of months. So really excited. So thank you very much, Power Scoop and Bronwyn, for actually posting again some of these videos. So again, it feels like these videos came out in like November or so. So definitely before they wind up taking their hiatus. So maybe when they do go back to filming, maybe we'll wind up getting ourselves some more set videos as well. But listen, guys, you see some of these set photos. What kind of jumps out to you a little bit? Like for me, I'm really interested to see we talked a little bit last week, I believe, of maybe one of the potential voice actors for Dino Fury, right? Madam Indigo. It kind of makes me wonder, looking back on this, like, is Weisel Madam Indigo, right? Like, have they gender swapped her, gender swapped him out? Is this like a female now? I have no idea. Who knows? Madam Indigo could just be one random villain of the week for all we know, or an original character. Who certainly knows? But I did think it was pretty cool that we get the opportunity to see just some of these villains and who could be potentially returning or making an impact for this show, certainly going forward. I know they also introduced the villain Boom Tower, I think, from the toys, if you will. I don't think we've seen him on set, or even, I think we might have seen him in a trailer. He's got the big two towers on his shoulders. But yeah, Boom Tower is out there as well. But yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far, guys. And I certainly hope that you guys do also. Do these set videos kind of bring up your levels of excitement for Dino Fury? Is there anything that you guys saw on set that kind of jumped out at you that you want to bring to our attention? Definitely go ahead and let me know in the live chat or the comment section box below, ladies and gentlemen. And with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and make another transition. Let's do a little bit of a halftime here, guys, because real quick, I do want to go ahead and promote our Patreon page. If you guys love the content that you're seeing here, trust me when I say there's more exclusive and early access content available for you guys also. We're always trying to grow A+ opinions here, whether that be on the A+ Hero Report side or the Morphinominal side, guys. We've got a little bit of everything for everyone here. So look, we're looking to continue to grow our production value here. This continued support allows us to continue to make additional content. So if you guys are interested, check it out. Patreon.com/A+opinions. We have several different tiers from $1 to $5 to $10 a month, whatever you're certainly comfortable with, guys. We certainly would just appreciate your continued support. Like, for instance, this week, we wind up doing early access for Zenkaiger. We're up to let me see. We're up to episode number 12, if I'm not mistaken. On the Patreon side of things, we're up to episode number 3 when it comes to Go Ranger. And we also have early access for the comic books. Like, for instance, right now on our Patreon, we have Power Rangers, or I should say Mighty Morphin issue number 3. The review is certainly on our Patreon page as well, which I'm probably actually going to go ahead and release later on this day for the general public. But yeah, you do get yourselves a couple of early days of enjoying those reviews as well. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and support the channel in any way, guys, we definitely would appreciate it. And the $1 tier also does have audios for all of our shows, along with access to our Discord community, because we are in fact trying to build up a community there as well as here on our YouTube page, guys. So definitely feel free to go ahead and support the channel if you certainly can. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description box below if you want to go ahead and just check out what we certainly have to offer, guys. So thank you very much for that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and continue along here with our next couple of topics that we're going to be breaking down. And we're going to get into some comic books, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm kind of digging the back-to-back. Mighty Morphin comes out one week. Next week is, in fact, going to be Power Rangers, which will be dropping this upcoming Wednesday, guys. So definitely go ahead and check your local comic book stores. But like, after those 2 weeks, I feel like I have to wait forever to get myself another Power Ranger comic book. So I'm really begging Boom Studios, please, if you can give me just one more series to kind of break up that long wait between Power Ranger series, I would really appreciate it, man. I would really appreciate it. But this week, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a preview for Power Rangers issue number 3. First off, Beautiful, beautiful cover. I honestly love the artwork here. There's something just menacing about the idea of Lord Dragon just standing above all these bodies while there's just hell breaking loose in the background, just fire and flames. I think this is such a badass picture, honestly. And considering just where we left off in issue number 2 with really our Omega Rangers caught dead in the middle of like a space horror movie, having to face off against these blood-sucking vampires in space. I almost feel like this is a super, super fitting photo for Power Rangers 3, I should say cover, to certainly say the least. But let's go ahead and explore this preview here just a little bit in regards to issue number 3. This actually comes to us from the fantastic site Ranger Command Power Hour. Check it out, rangercommand.com. They've got a great, fantastic Power Ranger podcast, certainly worth checking out. But it says Wednesday, January 20th, Power Rangers issue number 3 will be released. Again, this is upcoming Wednesday. It says 2 new series, 2 new teams. The unlimited power era continues as Draken is the key to the Power Rangers' new mission. But to defeat the new cosmic threat, the new Power Ranger team, Jason, Trini, Zach, and new members have put their faith in their greatest enemy. And the only way to that they may be able to save the universe is by giving Draken exactly what he wants. First and foremost, I did not read that last time. The new Power Ranger team, I'm thinking, okay, Jason, Trini, and Zach, all right, but and new members? What does that even mean? What does that mean? Are we getting ourselves a 4th member in here? Or one of these vampires going to be joining our Power Ranger team? Like when they say and new members, I'm not thinking Draken. But maybe it has plural in there. So I'm thinking to myself, well, clearly it's not just Draken. Who else are they certainly talking about? So maybe this will shine. Maybe they'll shine some extra light on that when we get to the actual issue itself. But I do find it interesting that it says Draken is the key to the Power Rangers' new mission. Considering the fact that last time we saw Draken, he was the one trying to sell out the rest of the team in order to kind of get favor with this brand new villain that we wind up seeing. Like, hey, if you leave me alone and I'll hand you everybody else, if you will. Talk about just stabbing everybody in the back. So the idea of the team having to put faith in their greatest enemy, yeah, we'll see what Draken certainly has up his sleeve. But considering the fact that he was the one trying to throw them under the bus, the idea that now he's sort of their final hope, I think is pretty interesting to see how that'll certainly turn out, to certainly say the least. We also wind up getting some pages to kind of explore for this preview also. And again, the artwork continues to kind of impress. And I honestly feel as though it continues to elevate each and every time that I wind up looking at it. This particular storyline, I think, has really benefited just from the colors itself. I think it really has helped and add to just the artistry pop a little bit more and be a little bit more impressive to me around. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this particular story ends. Like while I really enjoyed the sort of horror element behind it, there is a simplicity of Power Rangers issue number 2. And I'm wondering if that's going to carry over into this particular issue also, or if they're really going to kind of push the storyline elements a little bit more. I mean, the synopsis definitely has me interested. So we'll see how the execution goes for that season, or I should say for this episode. So, but yeah, guys, Power Rangers issue number 3 set to be in your comic book stores this Wednesday, January 20th. Again, if you can't go to your local comic book store, I highly recommend Comixology.com, a great source for digital comics. If you've got a computer, laptop, tablet, phone, whatever the case may be, a great place for your digital comics if you can't get out there to support your local comic book store, guys. But yeah, Power Rangers issue number 3 will be available for you Patreons on Wednesday afternoon or that evening, so definitely look forward to it. And then it will be available early access to the general public on Saturday. So definitely go ahead and get your early access if you certainly can, guys. All right. And then we've got 2 more topics that I want to bring up. We're going to go ahead and transition back to Power Rangers itself. But you know what? I'm gonna do a detour here because I was going to do one story first, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Power Ranger pitch meeting. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to check this out or not. Somebody sent this to me, and I apologize to whoever did send it to me. If I don't remember exactly who sent it to me, I do get a ton of stuff from time to time. But somebody did send this to me initially, and then I eventually found it on Twitter again and went back to actually watch it. But I got to tell you, man, this Power Ranger pitch meeting was hilarious. Now, the idea, if you haven't watched this pitch meeting, go check out Ryan George over at Twitter. I believe he works for Screen Rant. He may be one of the head honchos over there. Screen Rant is certainly a website that I've been fond of over the past several years. I didn't even realize that Ryan was the one that did the pitch meetings for the longest time. I've only seen maybe one or two in the past or so. But somebody put me onto the idea here of really what it would have been like for Lionsgate if you had to kind of pitch this meeting to sort of like the executive over at Lionsgate and to kind of see how they like the idea of the movie. So I thought some of the things in here that they talked about were just so on the head and just they just nailed it, honestly. Like I love the fact that they can appreciate a movie but still make fun of it and really touch upon just some of the gripes that I think some of the fans had with the film, but certainly have a great way of just kind of making fun of it, right? And glossing over it a little bit. Like the continued joke of Kimberly being a felon, I thought was perfect, right? The idea of everybody being in the detention, like him explaining, well, Billy's on the spectrum and Billy's being bullied, and Kimberly's in detention too, and she's also being bullied. And he's like, oh, why are the other girls bullying her? Oh, because Kimberly actually released explicit photos of one of her friends, and it went around to the whole entire school. So she's now being bullied, and she's mad that she's now being bullied. Like, oh, so she's a felon. Like, I love that fact because it's kind of true. Like when you watch the Power Ranger movie, that it is always something that's always rubbed me the wrong way. The fact that Kimberly, I was like, Kimberly, why are you mad that you're being bullied? Like you did do something wrong though. Like the fact that like the idea that she like confides in Jason and things like that, doesn't want to tell the rest of the team as to what she did. I just thought it was hilarious that they considered Kimberly a felon in this movie. I love the idea of there's so much good material in here. Like I want to go ahead and play this without hold on, let me see if I can, because I don't want to highlight all of it. They definitely make fun of like Bryan Cranston as Zordon in here. I thought it was brilliant. Again, this is a movie that I certainly loved and enjoyed, but I honestly don't have a problem with telling people just some of the downsides of this film, even though as much as I really enjoyed it, you know what I mean? I love the fact that they tease the idea of just the beginning of this movie, how dark it is with Zordon, but then just automatically going over to jumping into Jason and the other guy milking a bull, thinking that they were milking a cow. And he's like, "You sure you want to start off the movie that way?" Yeah, absolutely. The Krispy Kreme thing I thought was pretty cool. I love the idea that the Krispy Kreme idea technically wasn't even the writer's idea, that it's actually like the company's idea, it's the executive's idea to go ahead and put Krispy Kreme. Because if there was anything, I mean, talk about just the idea of just product placement, like at its finest, done in this Power Ranger movie, right? Like of all the things, Krispy Kreme clearly plays a huge role in the climax of this film. But I love the fact that they make fun of how it's really the executive wanting to include Krispy Kreme into the movie, right? I mean, listen, people, I feel like studios do that kind of all the time, right? Studios always take their own liberties to kind of put something in that maybe the other person doesn't want to, but they are the studio, so they can kind of get away with it. Because Krispy Kreme always felt so off to me. Like, what? Like, where's this coming from? Like, why are you highlighting Krispy Kreme as this spot? But it would make sense if it maybe was suggested by the actual person in the studio itself. I never contemplated that idea, but it definitely made me laugh. So yeah, I thought it was brilliant, man. If you haven't had the opportunity to check out the Power Rangers pitch meeting, please do. It's only about 6 minutes long, so it won't take you very much to get through it. But just the ideas and some of the concepts of this movie really did they really do make them come across pretty ridiculous. Like the idea of like Jason, now that Billy kind of left took off his bracelet. It's interesting that like Jason never goes back home, like, and his family doesn't ask where he's at, even though he's supposed to be on like house arrest and things like that, right? Nobody ever brings that up for the remainder of the movie. There's a couple of other things in here that you can kind of point at. I love the fact that they're like, yeah, so they become Power Rangers and then they start their own little mini fight club to start training with each other. Like, just the way that they describe some of the stuff that takes place in this movie, which is absolutely hilarious. So whoever did send this to me originally, thank you so much. I did manage to go ahead and find it again on Twitter, but I wasn't sure if I was going to even add this to one of the things that we talk about here this week, but it was a last minute ad. But because after I watched it again, I just died laughing and just how spot on some of these comparisons certainly were. But if you haven't had the opportunity to check out a pitch meeting yet, go ahead and go over to Ryan George's site or even find him on YouTube for the Screen Rant Power Rangers pitch meeting. Trust me when I say you will not be disappointed, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly go ahead and check it out. Man, little things like that though, highlighting the 2017 Power Ranger movie just truly makes me wish we were able to get ourselves a reboot. It's never going to happen, and that's more than fine. Like, I've come to terms with that. I've definitely have come to terms with that, but it certainly doesn't mean that I can't just, still feel attached to that particular project. I thought they did some more right things than they certainly did wrong things in there. And also going back to the pitch meeting, one of the downsides that my biggest irk with the film was as though like they almost forgot that they were doing a Power Ranger film. Like they did such great drama and great character building and great storylines that by the time you get to the end, it's like you forgot, oh, that's right, we got to become Power Rangers, we got to change them into Power Rangers. And so I love the fact that even in the pitch meeting, they're like, and now we get to see them turn into Power Rangers. And the guy's like, and what's the runtime now? Oh, 90 minutes. Like, oh, damn. Like, we're like, you're 90 minutes into this movie and they're now just becoming Power Rangers. Like, you literally just give it to us for like 5 minutes. Like, and it's just, it's a shame. It truly is a shame. But again, just little things about that pitch meeting just make you laugh. And honestly, it probably will make me enjoy the movie just a little bit more. Anytime that you can kind of just make fun of yourself or make fun of one of your favorite movies that you absolutely love, I think it just kind of makes that all the more enjoyable. And again, I think this pitch meeting makes me almost maybe want to go back and revisit the 2017 Power Ranger film. But this also will bring a very seamless transition because I do want to continue to talk about the Power Ranger 2017 crew, specifically Ludi Lin himself. Now, give me a second here, guys, because I meant to go ahead and pull up some photos. And me and my dumbass self trying to get all this stuff together, kind of not necessarily last minute, but I didn't even think about yesterday as to why I didn't get this stuff set up and situated. But give me one moment here. I just want to upload one more photo to kind of go along with the next story that we're going to be talking about, because it is important. One of the things about the Power Ranger 2017 film that I was always impressed about was honestly the cast. I mean, if you look at this cast in general, Becky G, most notably known for being a musician, right? She already had a little bit of fame kind of coming into this movie, but mostly everybody else was very much sort of an unknown. Dacre Montgomery, who the F is that guy, right? Like, I had no idea who Dacre Montgomery is. Now he's making a name for himself on Stranger Things. I saw somebody, a fan, once kind of suggest the idea of him as Johnny Storm for Fantastic Four, and I'm like, yes, I would love Dacre Montgomery for Fantastic Four. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for him. But I feel like big things are certainly coming Dacre Montgomery's way. We've got an opportunity to see RJ Seiler. He's been in a few movies himself, even prior to Power Rangers. I have seen him a little bit pop up in some DC television shows also. So he's certainly still putting himself out there. Naomi Scott, I feel like out of everybody, is really the one that wind up shining. Not only did she go on to do Charlie's Angels, which I hear is a pretty terrible movie, but I hear that she's probably one of the great parts of that film. Naomi Scott also went on to be in Aladdin, which was a movie that certainly surprised me and one that I enjoyed as far as the live action version goes. So trust me when I say Naomi Scott, I think is going to just have a fantastic career. But one of the other actors that really have always kind of impressed me in his own unique way is Ludi Lin. Ludi Lin has been always a standout to me. And I think a lot of that has to come with just his sort of infectious personality. One of the things that I loved about just the press conferences and the media junkets before the Power Ranger movie came out, you know, when we have our whole entire team together and they're doing interviews on set and things like that, you know, Ludi Lin always jumped out at me with the person that had just one of the more charismatic guys, one of the more open guys that certainly doesn't mind sort of giving you sort of great humor, great wisdom, really great ability to just kind of talk to you sort of thing. Like he just always shines and pops every time I see him kind of on screen. He just has that sort of infectious kind of personality that you're just kind of you know, you're just drawn into, if you will. You know, ever since then, Power Ranger movie, he's gone on to star in Aquaman a little bit. I think he had a role in Aquaman. He was also in Black Mirror, if I'm not mistaken, an episode of Black Mirror for season 3 also. And he wind up just now getting, I believe he tried to audition for Shang-Chi. I certainly could be wrong in regards to that, but I believe that he certainly might have. But even though Shang-Chi certainly might have fallen through his lap and other opportunities, Ludi Lin is now going to be in an upcoming Mortal Kombat movie also, guys. If you haven't seen photos of him, he's actually going to be playing Liu Kang himself. This is actually photos from Entertainment Weekly that wind up dropping this past week as we're getting our really first look into this Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, Ludi Lin is in fact going to be playing Liu Kang. We get to see some amazing shots of him here. I'm assuming chilling next to, I'm assuming that's Raiden, if anything. But Ludi Lin, man, when I tell you, a fantastic martial artist. If you look at just some of his workout regimen, his training, I mean, this guy just looks incredible right now. So he's definitely putting all his effort into becoming an amazing specimen and hopefully opening up some fantastic opportunities for him in Hollywood at some particular point in time. But the reason outside of his Mortal Kombat stuff that I wanted to highlight to you guys is this past week on Twitter, he actually released a behind the scenes video of him of Zach's apparent entrance scene that was supposed to take place in the Power Ranger movie, but did not get used. So let me go ahead and highlight this for you guys because I thought it was pretty fascinating, and I probably am going to go ahead and pull up the audio on this one briefly. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So here we go. This is from Ludi Lin. It says, this is part of the original pitch for Zach's entrance scene in Power Rangers. It says, Zach surfing a train for YouTube to make cash for his mom's meds and almost loses his phone and his life. We shot it. It was amazing, but it wasn't cut in. It says, here it is now, never before seen. Enjoy. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
What up, fans? Check it out. I'm copping a free ride on this train today. If you dig this, subscribe to me. I bring you a quote from Confucius. He's some Chinese guy who said some stuff, and he said, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. Now when I do, I understand. Confucius, this one's for you.
Yo, does he bust out hip hop keto here? Is this like his own form of hip hop keto? When he does... shit. Yo, tell me that's not dope.
Hey, what up, fans?
Tell me that's not cool, man. I absolutely love this, bro. Getting the opportunity to see Ludi Lin.
I bring you a quote from Confucius. He's some Chinese guy who said some stuff, and
I bring you a quote from Confucius. He's some Chinese guy. He said some stuff, like just the nonchalant, cool aspect of Ludi Lin as Zach. I love that. I'm telling you, this is like his hip hop keto move, man. I'm telling you. One of the downfalls to how they edited this Power Ranger movie, unfortunately, was the idea that, they talked really highly about how each individual Ranger was going to have their kind of own unique fighting style. But clearly, considering the fact that they cut out so much of the fighting for the Power Ranger movie, we really didn't even get a chance to see this. Like, this looks like this is the first glimpse of really Zach showcasing like just some of his fighting style a little bit. When it comes to that, like just this smooth little wave that he winds up doing, it just very much reminds me of like a little throwback homage to Walter Jones as Zach. I mean, I feel like we've seen him do that wave when it comes to hip hop keto before, right? But it feels like Ludi Lin kind of switched it up a little bit for himself here. So I thought it was a really cool, never before seen little behind the scene clip here of Ludi Lin. But yeah, man, I don't care what anybody tells me. That's freaking hip hop keto, sort of at its finest, guys. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. Look, Zach was always one of those characters in the film I almost wanted to see more of. I really loved his character, the idea of the idea that him not really going back to school anymore because of the fact that his mom was sick, so he was having to try and do all this stuff to try and take care of her. Clearly the man of the house, if you will. So he certainly had his own struggles that he was dealing with. The campfire scene where everybody's sitting around, a fantastic scene in Power Rangers to kind of get an idea of everybody's personality, see, their background story, see them kind of all get along together and things like that. But for me, Ludi Lin was always one of those guys whose personality just really popped, and it's almost like he is Zach. Like his personality is that of Zach, and it's always one that I've been really, really fond of. So very a fantastic interpretation of the Zach character that I'm glad that they kind of had the opportunity to explore. And I just think Ludi Lin is just it almost feels like it comes just natural to him when he exudes himself in some of these characters. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what his the rest of his career is certainly going to look like, definitely going forward. But guys, listen, I want to know your thoughts now that you had the opportunity to see that never before that behind the scenes video from them. Definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, I think other than that, I think that is actually probably the last topic that we have here for you guys today. But if anything, we're definitely going to go ahead and highlight your live viewer questions. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I don't know how many questions we have today, but we'll see. I am going to go over to Facebook first because I know Johnny has this tendency of sending his questions there instead of to the email account. And I sometimes tend to gloss over them by mistake. I don't mean to, I promise, but I sometimes forget to. Let's see here. Adam, 3 questions. All right. Johnny, get him a body bag. Yeah. I love Cobra Kai, man. If you guys haven't checked out Cobra Kai, do yourselves a favor. Adam, 3 questions. I love the trailer for Zenkaiger. Do you still believe it could be adapted in the future for Power Rangers? Listen. Could it? Yeah. Could it? Yeah. Will it? I'll say no. I'm okay with being wrong though, guys. Like I'm not butthurt if I'm wrong. So I'm okay with being wrong if I am. Could it? Yeah, it certainly could. Will it? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. But that's, I mean, listen, if I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? I feel like I was a lot more certain maybe a month, 2 months ago. But I feel like everything that we've heard from Brian Goldner, him referencing the idea that they still want to do kid-oriented shows. Simon Bennett talking about the idea that he hasn't had a single talk with Jonathan Entwistle or like the higher ups as to what's kind of changing. I am wondering if they are still going to be doing the kid-oriented stuff just without Super Sentai footage. I'm still leaning towards the idea. Don't get me wrong. I'm still leaning towards the idea of them breaking way with Toei. So, I mean, again, that certainly could be not true. They certainly could still have a partnership there. So I think that's one of the reasons as to why I'm saying I don't believe that'll happen. But you never say never, man, right? This year has taught me never say never to anything. So you never know what could happen. But I do think that they could. I do think that they could adapt it. I just don't think that they will. Um, you also say, I found out that Hasbro was going to have an investors call this February. Do we think we'll hear new Power Ranger content from this? Probably. I'm going to say yes. I do think that we probably, if it's going to be an investors call, I wouldn't be surprised if Power Rangers does get put up there. It's going to be February, so they maybe talk about some Dino Fury stuff. They may continue to talk maybe a little bit more about the upcoming Power Ranger movie, or at least is how far development is come in regards to that, right? Like, are they going to start casting soon? What's the script looking like? So maybe we'll get some details in regards to that. As far as like the future of Power Ranger television, I don't believe that they would announce that on that investors call for February. I think maybe they'll let Dino Fury go for a little bit. Like, if anything, I don't think we'll hear any announcements um for anything past Dino Fury TV wise, at least until maybe that first hiatus that we wind up normally getting when it comes to Nickelodeon. If you know, if anything, we'll see we don't even know what the release schedule is going to be like for Dino Fury as of yet, right? Like, people are still wondering, are we getting this all in one season? Is it going to be 2 seasons? Like, or how many episodes? Or is it just going to continue to follow its same format, right? I think we are leaning towards 2 seasons, but I'm kind of curious if the format of when the episodes drop are going to be the same. Maybe we'll get some Nickelodeon news, right, in regards to that come February. Maybe news on the idea, maybe an extension, or maybe moving over someplace. Who knows? So pay attention to that investor call this upcoming February. If it's an investor call that'll be live, that anybody can kind of listen to, maybe I'll try and tune in and check it out. I'm not an investor, so I don't know if they make those public or not. But trust me, I'm pretty sure there will be some Twitter accounts, whether it be No Pink Spandex or Power Scoop or whoever, posting some information. So yeah, we might have some news coming in February. Do you still hope for Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers to include Cat and season 3 storylines down the line? Talking about the Boom Studio comics, yes, I do. I still definitely hope for that. I think they're going to be working towards that. I mean, we are getting ourselves an Astronema one shot, and this is an Astronema who is very young in her time, probably already after being kind of kidnapped or taken away, I should say, from Anjo, separated from her family. So it feels as though they're, with that one shot series, like they're maybe just dropping breadcrumbs for a future stuff for them to kind of highlight when it comes to Boom Studios. So I do feel like they are slowly going down that path. So I would not be surprised if eventually we do get ourselves, Alien Ranger storyline, or if they haven't done so already. And maybe Cat in season 3 kind of stuff as it comes along. You said, also seeing the set footage of Dino Fury gives me hope and more excited for the season. I'm calling one last time Scrousel for Dino Fury. And here's the link to the 2021 investors call. Well, thank you for the link. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll go ahead and check that out. Especially as we get closer. I'll go ahead and just pull it up here real quick. But yeah, we'll see if Scrousel comes back. I wouldn't count on Scrousel being like one of the main villains. I feel like if anything, maybe he'll pop up in maybe a crossover, or maybe a team up episode if they were able to put something like that together. But again, when it comes to team ups and crossovers, I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed. We'll see. So yeah, Monday, February 8th is going to be the call, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So 7:30 Central. Yeah, I'm not going to be up for that. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, usually with investor calls, you usually try and encourage people about like what your plans are going to be for the next quarter, to have people continue to invest. So you definitely want to highlight some of your topics. You know what I mean? Some of your franchises, and kind of letting people know like, this is how we're going to use this to help make you money. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead. Did I get all the questions from? Let's see here. All right. So no more questions over on the Facebook side of things. So let me go over now to our email. A plus Morphinominal. Oh, we got quite a few, man. You guys are being active today. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Jessica Fryman. Hey, Adam, would you like to see a Power Rangers anime series one day? And I enjoy your fantasy casting for last week, especially the idea of a female Red Ranger, because I would like to see a female leader for the Power Rangers. Yeah, thank you very much, Jessica, for highlighting our video. Yes, we did last week. We did go ahead and do a fantasy casting or fan casting for the Power Ranger movie by Jonathan Entwistle. I did run across a video that had speculation as to who they could be potentially looking for. And a part of me has always been wanting to do a fan casting video. So last week we did do a fan casting video. It is up on our YouTube page if you want to go ahead and check it out. We picked out our Red Ranger. We pretty much picked out, we started off by picking out a core 3 as our main team if they wanted to start off with 3 as the team, and then we added an additional 2 if they wanted to go ahead and do all 5 characters for the film, and we even threw in a potential 6th Ranger as well. But we did have the idea of a female Red Ranger being the main for our particular movie. So we'll see what Jonathan Entwistle winds up doing. The ball's in your court, man. The ball's in your court. Anyway, it says, do I think we'll see a Power Ranger anime series one day? I would honestly really love that, to be honest with you. I really, really would. Netflix does some incredible sort of animated series on there. You know, they just have the Transformers thing is on there, their War for Cybertron trilogy. I think that's kind of like, that's more CGI kind of inspired, but like Castlevania I think of as anime inspired. Some really great stuff that you can do. I think even I wonder if like the He-Man Masters of the Universe stuff is going to be anime inspired also. I'm not quite sure, but I would love to see an anime inspired Power Ranger anything, honestly. On Netflix they actually have anime X-Men series, which it's incredible. It's incredible. I've been watching it. It's pretty intense. Oh wait, Dino Knights. Did you send me another one, Dino Knights? No, I think that's, oh, you have an updated one. I'll do the updated one. Randy, what's up, Randy? He said, hey, Adam, how's it going? 2 questions. Have you seen the trailer for Zenkaiger? If you did, what are your thoughts? Great teaser. Great teaser. You know, I am kind of hoping that maybe I get a second one. Maybe that's just me being greedy. I wouldn't mind another like 1.5, 2-minute long 2-minute long series to kind of really give us some insight into what we can expect from this show, like storyline plots, details, and appearance of some of our, you know, closer up of our villains and things like that. I really would love to see them explored. But from everything that I saw so far, it looks fire. Granny with the gun in front of a gigantic explosion looks great. The Kikainoids in their sort of civilian modes look fantastic. The Zenkaiger costume looks even better in person than I thought it certainly would, even from some of the HD quality photos that we've been getting. Like I've been a big fan of the costume. I'm honestly relieved too. You know, one of the things, guys, that we talked about when we did our casting rumors last week, you know, one of the potential rumors that was out there was that Seo's boyfriend from the Kara episode on Seo's date was potentially going to be Zenkaiger. And I just remember when I was talking about it, I said, please, I know that these are all grain of salts and just rumors, but this is the one that I hope is more rumor than anything. And again, nothing personal against that actor, but he just left a really bad taste in my mouth from his performance as that character in Kara again. And I know the characters are not the actors, but the fact that this Kara this Seo's date guy wind up sort of being a traitor and you know, causing Seo and the Karamazers to get caught up in a trap, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, I can't even imagine that guy being a hero, since last time I saw him, he was a traitor. So I got to tell you, man, I'm glad that they certainly didn't go with that guy. And we have ourselves Kato, what was his name? Kita something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. But we have somebody else, a newcomer really to just acting in general. Because again, I checked out his IMBD and I think he was only on one other TV show prior. And I don't even think it was like double digit episodes. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the only thing that he's had before jumping into Zenkaiger. So I'm going to be really fascinated to see what he can bring to the table. Hardly no experience, but clearly impressive enough for the casting director to be like, you're our new guy for one of our biggest seasons yet for the 45th anniversary. So yeah, man, I loved everything that I saw so far, Randy. How excited are you for Dino Fury? I'm pumped. The cast alone has got me pumped. Hearing Simon Bennett, I feel like over the past several weeks, give countless interviews, have really been impressive to me. It's really helped boost my excitement level for it. I'm just really eager to see how much more different it's going to be than what we got before. Like I'm sure we probably will still get a little bit more of the same, but the idea that we're getting new directors in there, so we're going to be getting different visions of how they view Power Rangers, different angles, different camera shots, different presentation of our heroes. I'm curious if they've upped the production value at all. You know, they were at, I think, 20 million for Beast Morpher season 1. I think that jumped to 22 million for Beast Morpher season 2. So I'm wondering if Hasbro's going to give like 22, 24, 26 million maybe to Dino Fury this season. Who knows? So I'm hoping that the production level is going to be raised a little bit more. And if they give me what we got in Beast Morphers with a little bit more push, I'll be a happy camper, man. I'll be a happy camper. So I'm really looking forward to Dino Fury as well. L'Oreal's got a couple questions too. She says, does the red Zenkaiger look like the classic suit for one of the common riders? I'm wondering if you are meaning Zenkaiger, because I've always looked at the Zenkaiger suit as the White Ranger, as the white Zenkaiger. So I don't know if you're talking about him, because I'm assuming you're talking about him, because when I look at Jurin, I don't see a common rider influence there, but maybe I'm wrong. But if you are talking about the white Zenkaiger, is Zenkaiger the leader? Then yeah, I do see common rider attributes. Just a little bit. Like people that are comparing, when we first started, when people just saw the one photo, they're like, oh, so Super Sentai is becoming Kamen Rider. Now they're putting their foot in their mouth, because no, it's clearly not anything like Kamen Rider. Just because somebody's got antennas and big bulbous eyes don't mean it's automatically Kamen Rider. Because yeah, I don't see, outside of that, I honestly don't see any other influences from anything Kamen Rider related. But it's the classic suit. Yeah, I can kind of see it. If Power Rangers adapted Aqua Red, he'd be an embodiment of all the Power Rangers in history. I plan to have him meet our Tokuger team. How's that? Yeah, why not? There's an Aqua Red, I believe, in Gokaiger, which we'll be introduced to also. Maybe the 6th Ranger can be modeled after the Zords of Karamager, Tokuger, or Q Ranger. If not, what Zord would you want the 6th Ranger to be modeled after? Probably Die Ranger. I think that's probably what I settled on last time. If I had to pick one, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, it would probably be inspired off of this. If I had to, probably the Die Ranger Zord in some way, probably green inspired Kikainoid that maybe has a samurai or some sort of martial arts element kind of invested into it. So like for me, that's my personal choice for a 6th Ranger. Because I Die Ranger was always a great series of mine, and that kind of hand-to-hand combat I always felt was kind of missing a little bit, honestly. But it's funny too, because we were just talking about this a couple of weeks back, that majority of the Kikainoids that we see, their inspirations that they're coming from is eerily similar to that of the Gokaiger versus Go Busters movie that we wind up getting, when they introduced us to the Phantom Keys and the ability for our Zords to be able to harness the power of other Megazords, right? I mean, if you look right here, you've got the inspiration from Jurin, you've got the inspiration from Gao King right here, you've got the Abukenger inspiration right here in Gogo, And then you've got the Magi Ranger one here. Also, the only one that we haven't seen really out of this is the Geki Ranger Zord. So that's also another possibility, considering the fact that they literally have like utilized the other Zords for their Kikainoids. It makes me wonder if the Geki Ranger one is going to be for their sixth ranger or not. But again, another hand-to-hand combat sort of martial arts again, or they could go the Die Ranger route, which is where I'm leaning. So those were just some of my suggestions. Let's see here. Marcelino has a couple of questions. What do you forward? Huh? What do you forward most in the clip show? The Shattered Grid trailer doesn't count because it's not a full legitimate Power Ranger episode. If you meant to say what do I look forward to most in a clip show, I don't look forward to any clip shows, Marcelino. I don't look forward to any clip shows. I think they're just a waste of space. I mean, granted, it's cool for like some nostalgia factor, I guess. But like if you're recapping what I just saw in this season, no. If you want to recap some of the stuff in the past, like I give the Power Ranger episode where we see Venjix, where we get to see Evox and his villains going through past videotapes of previous villains and trying to figure out like who they want to bring back to life type of thing, right? I wouldn't say it was an entire clip show, but a lot of the villain stuff was just like all clips of us just watching that kind of stuff. Cool for nostalgia, but I felt it was unwarranted. And I know some people disagree with me. I mean, I've had this talk with other people before on our channel. Some people didn't necessarily see it as a clip show. I didn't think it was a full-fledged clip show, but I still felt it was utilized in certain aspects that way. But I felt like didn't really add anything to the overarching story itself. But that's just me. I just think it takes away from other things that you could be focusing on, other important storyline elements that need to be paid attention to, instead of filling it in with stuff that we've already seen as a viewer. For some people that aren't familiar with the franchises, I get the need for a recap episode, but when it comes to clip shows, no, I don't really care for any of them, honestly. Marcelino also says, even though Ninja Steel and Megaforce are bad seasons, I still want the characters to return so that that way the better writing the characters can become more likable and better. Interesting. Okay. In Space did that for its turbo characters, and Gokaiger did its unlikable and bad past characters. There's no reason for us to do it again for other seasons and characters. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind them coming back at all. I do like the idea of like, hey, I know that we didn't necessarily utilize this cast so well in their series, but maybe the idea of teaming up with another group of characters, maybe that have either different writers this time around or approaching our characters differently. Yeah, I mean, definitely can make them a little bit more likable. Like for me, I don't think I've ever had an issue with the cast itself of those two. It's really always been the characters that I've had an issue with. So I would love to see the cast back, that's for sure. Like some of the characters I even felt okay with. I think the only character that I was not a fan of was maybe was it Calvin, like the Yellow Ranger from Ninja Steel, and then Troy from Megaforce. I wasn't the biggest fans of, but you're right. I mean, if you're able to get that cast or those group of characters along with another group that we're maybe a little bit more fond of, yeah, that definitely just kind of boosts their stock, if you will, just a little bit more. It definitely helps. You also say, we talked about this last week, but you didn't understand my question, and I didn't word it correctly. My question was if you agree or disagree that Power Rangers YouTubers should act like Pokemon YouTubers. I went to the comment section to word it properly, and hopefully that you would notice me, and you did. So now that you have fully understanding my question, what are your thoughts? No, I don't. I don't think they no, I would disagree with that. I don't think and again, it's nothing against, I mean, if that's what you feel like, Marcelino, that's perfectly okay. But I just think Power Rangers and Pokemon are just two different franchises. However, Pokemon YouTubers act, maybe that's more beneficial for that particular franchise, right? It may not coincide really well with a Power Ranger fan base. You know what I mean? Visually, maybe it might be more appealing to the eye, but I mean, act however you want to act. Whatever your personality is, that's what you should certainly bring to the table first and foremost. I would never suggest to any of my other Power Ranger YouTubers, you need to be more like these people, or you need to act a little bit more like those people, or you know what I mean? So I just think they should have the right to be able to do and present however they, whatever they want in their own particular style. I mean, maybe it looks pretty cool in Pokemon. I haven't checked out any of the other Pokemon YouTubers specifically to kind of even see what you're referring to in that sense, Marcelino. But no, I mean, I still think Power Ranger YouTubers should just act their own way accordingly, however they certainly want to. And if they want to bring elements of that from Pokemon YouTubers in there, feel free to. But I would never say copy anybody else's ideas. I mean, if it happens that way, it happens that way. But always try and be unique. Always try and be something original. Always try and be something a little bit vastly different in your own right, whether that be your personality or the presentation of your shows. So for that, I definitely would probably disagree, though. But if you feel that way, Marcelino, certainly nothing wrong with that, man. Let's see here. Dino Rehearsal, aka AJ's got a couple questions. What are some of your favorite Sixth Ranger introduction episodes? Wild Force was pretty cool for me. I always enjoyed the concept of the prince and the princess, or at least her protector, like her guardian. That I always enjoyed. The Wild Force for me was probably one of my favorites. Time Force also really enjoyed Time Force. I always thought this Sixth Ranger was so badass. There were times when I was almost wanted him to be the leader instead of not necessarily West, but I was just like the idea of him being another Red Ranger. He had that more red and black, a more red and black look to him. I always loved the Quantum Ranger. So yeah, bring him on. Yeah, so those are some of my favorites introductions. I'm trying to think of more current Neo Saban stuff, if anything's really kind of stood out to me. Yeah, that's really the only one sticking out to me a little bit here. You also say, now that we have a trailer for Zenkaiger, what do you think will be different from other Super Sentai seasons that we have not seen in rumors or pictures, or now the trailer? So now that we have seen the trailer for Zenkaiger, what do you think will be different from other Sentai series? I mean, really, I think the only main big difference that we'll probably see is the ability of these Kikainoids and how they're utilized. I think that's going to be like the idea that I felt like even every sort of press material, press conference that we've been talking about, they've highlighted the idea of how unique the one human, four robots theme is for this season. So I do think when it comes to the Kikainoids, I think that's really where the uniqueness and differentness of other Super Sentai seasons are going to really kind of come into play. The fact that they do have past directors and action directors and writers from other series, I'm sure there will be a lot of influences from that stuff. I mean, it is a 45th anniversary, so I think if anything, this is probably going to be one of the series that does take a lot of influence from other series, but I'm sure there's still going to be something unique and different in here, and I have a feeling that's going to be really the main focus of our Kikainoids, maybe some of our Zords, how that's all coming into play. Like, right, we don't even know what Zenkaiger's Zord is, if you really think of it, right? Maybe it's an airship of some kind. I'm still going with a blimp or a rocket. I would love to see either of those. AJ also says, in your mind, which Super Sentai series would you like to cross over with Power Rangers? And what power up or battleizer you like each team to use, especially since not all seasons have battleizers or were exclusive to Power Rangers? Well, first and foremost, that Max Rehearsal Red, give that to me. That's got to be introduced in here for sure. Which Super Sentai series would you like to cross over? Give me Die Ranger with Jungle Fury. I would love to see those two, especially just so I can kind of see the hand-to-hand martial arts combat, but also just to see RJ dealing with the Super Sentai team in Dire Ranger. I really would be interested to see how their personalities clash, or just the idea of like the teaching of how they teach martial arts, like the differences of like the Dire Ranger team to maybe just RJ's laid back sort of hippie mentality. I would love to see that team. But as far as like what power up or battleizer, what I like each team to use, battleizer. I mean, granted, I guess I couldn't use the Max Real Soldier, Max Red Real Soldier at that point. But you know what? Screw it. It's my world I'm living in. Yeah, I'm gonna give the Jungle Fury team that Real Soul Red upgrade also. So yeah, if anything, give me. I'm a sucker for great hand-to-hand combat, man. So yeah, definitely give me Jungle Fury and Die Ranger. I would love to see those two. I think that might actually be it for all of our live viewer questions. Let me just double check here. Okay, yeah, I think that is all the questions. Let me just refresh it. All right, awesome, guys. Yeah, I think that'll do it for our live viewer questions. And if anything, I'm going to go ahead and actually jump into the comment section and see what you guys are saying today. Delta, PS, what's up, Delta? Certainly good to see you coming through. Sarav's in the house. What's up, Sarav? I'm guessing they will have morphers. I'm assuming maybe you're talking about the Zenkaigers. Yes, the Zenkaigers will have morphers. Their morphers are in fact the Geartlingers. They're big old guns that you see when you look at the trailer. They're winding them up and everything, and they're getting ready to shoot them. They can use them as weapons, and they can certainly use them as their morphers too. So yeah, let's see here. See, I keep thinking something's dropping on me. I keep hearing this noise. I don't know what this noise is coming from, but it's like something's opening and closing on my computer, and I'm like, what is this beeping noise? Please don't crap out on me, guys. Dino says, I don't want a weird morpher. I hated the Power Star in Ninja Steel and the doll in Akiba Ranger, excuse me. Akiba Ranger was a parody, so I don't mind. Yeah, it was definitely a parody, so I definitely don't mind that. But yeah, no, I don't. I actually think it's a pretty cool. Like, I would be interested to see what the Geartlinger does. Like how they morph with it. It almost reminds me that of like Kyoryuger when they would shoot their gun in the air and then they turn into their dinosaur morphs. I thought it was pretty cool. James Power Ranger. I can't remember if we highlighted James or not. He says this says Go Power Rangers. Oh, going back to the cast of the Power Rangers 2017 film, Marcelino also says Naomi Scott was also in Terra Nova, a short-lived TV series. I do recall Terra Nova. I didn't watch it, but I do remember commercials for it. I don't remember. Was that on Fox? I can't remember where that came on at. Matthew says, I really love Naomi Scott and Aladdin. I really did too. I think she was an incredible Princess Jasmine. Incredible singer too. I didn't even know she had those type of pipes on her, to be honest with you. So Rob, he says, what do you think Real Soul Fury Co Zato? Does the logic of the kids taking away the wrong message from a bladed morpher hold any water? I don't know what that's about, but I don't see any problem with a bladed morpher. Thank you, Yusai. He says Kung Lao. I was thinking I was Raiden for a second, but it's Kung Lao next to him. I just wasn't sure if they gave him like if they like updated the character. Like, I honestly haven't seen Homeboy. Like, I honestly haven't played a Mortal Kombat game in like ages. Like, outside of just I know they got a ton of new characters and things like that. So I didn't know if they youngened up Raiden or not at all. So I wasn't sure. I just recognized the hat. But thank you very much for correcting me. What's up, Frankie? Good to see you in here, Frankie. Dino Dino says, "You're welcome, Adam. I sent you that clip of Ludi Lin when he posted it, giving me some credit." Yeah, so that's what I was. I was like, I can't remember who sent it to me. So thank you, AJ, for sending me that clip. I appreciate it, man. Matthew says, seriously, why didn't they include that in the movie? There's a lot of things I'm wondering why they didn't include in the movie. Like the idea that by the time they get up to the Zord battle, they're almost 90 minutes into the film, like the pitch meeting suggested, right? Is like they definitely paid attention and put the emphasis on other areas for this story, where I do feel as though there was a lot of missed opportunities and stuff that they had on the cutting room floor they just did not use. Like not only did they not utilize that, but there's an amazing video, if you can find it on YouTube. One of the stunt directors of that Power Ranger movie actually released the full, or maybe not the full fight, but a huge chunk of what the actual fight sequence was supposed to be for the Power Rangers when they went up against their putties, but it just got butchered when it came down to the editing format. I mean, at least in the stunt coordinating fights that you see in the video, everybody clearly has their own fighting style. Everybody certainly gets some time to shine on the big screen, a much longer fight sequence than what we got in the movie. This is a shame that they prioritized other things over the Power Ranger aspect. And I get it. I get it because there is an importance of character building to get the audience attached to these characters. So I get it, but maybe a little bit too much attention to detail and not enough focus on other things. You guys are talking about the writers, I guess, talking to kids. Dino says, I guess Saban and the director thought it was stupid and kids wouldn't understand. Again, kids aren't dumb. Power Rangers needs to stop downplaying kids. Kids can use iPhones so they can watch Power Rangers with more mature stuff. Like PG rated. Yeah, I mean, I could see them definitely some PG rated stuff. But you're right. I mean, one of my past relationships, my ex, when we were helping raise her kid, I mean, homeboy was like this little kid sitting on the couch, couldn't even get on top of the couch, but he knew how to get into your damn iPhone and pull up the apps that he wanted to play on. I'm like, how the hell do you know how to do that? Like, I didn't even know how to do any of that shit as a kid. Like, so yeah, they need to stop downplaying the kids smarts out there, man. You're embarrassing yourselves, guys, by downplaying how smart these kids are, treating them like 4 to 6 year olds. So Rob says, we say that Hasbro will bring something new to the table, but they messed it up with robots in disguise big time. What's to say Power Rangers wouldn't suffer the same? Well, I would like to introduce you also to Transformers War for Cybertron, the trilogy that's currently on Netflix. A fantastic trilogy of series, if you ask me. That showcases to me that Hasbro certainly is doing a pretty good job also with Transformers. Listen, not everything is going to be knocking things out as a home run, right? Sometimes you will falter in certain things. Some things it'll be better than others. So I think it's important that we shouldn't just focus on just maybe one aspect of where Hasbro has failed, and maybe look at that same franchise and also see where they have succeeded. Because could Power Rangers suffer the same? Yeah, most definitely. I don't think anybody has said because Hasbro has Power Rangers that it's going to be a definite success, right? If anything, there's still a huge question mark as to what they could potentially do. There's nothing wrong with having faith and believing that they certainly can. I believe that Hasbro can certainly bring Power Rangers, bring it back into big time, but it certainly doesn't mean that that's 100% guaranteed, right? So anything is possible, but understand, while they certainly might have faltered on Robots in Disguise, which I'm assuming is another Transformers series of some kind, they are doing Transformers right by giving us an amazing film in Bumblebee, but also giving us a fantastic trilogy series in War for Cybertron currently on Netflix. So there's definitely some hit and misses in every company. But let's also remember to point out the things that they have accomplished as well. Blossom says, I have a Yoda mug, beats the heck out of my Ravenclaw chalice. Ooh, a chalice? I don't know. Like, this is cool and all. I mean, it's a little bit creepy. Join you today, I have. I mean, Yoda, I mean, but I would love a chalice, though. I'm not a Ravenclaw. I'm definitely more of a Hufflepuff. From all the things that all the tests that I've done for my Harry Potter house, but I would love a Hufflepuff chalice. A chalice? Yeah, give me a chalice. M, what's up, M? He says, "Hey, A plus, how you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Did you get in contact with Liana Ramirez? Sorry for asking. I just love her. She's amazing, and she's really grown on me. Newsflash: Violet and Amber are this year's fashion colors. Interesting, Violet and Amber. Maybe I'll have to start rocking some Violet this week. This year. I don't know how Amber looks on me as a color, but thank you. No, I have not been able to get in contact with Liana Ramirez. She's got a busy life, man. She's got a busy life. Living it up." Enjoying her time for sure. Every once in a while, we'll maybe get in contact with each other or at least catch up a little bit. But it has been a minute since me and Liana have reached out to each other. So maybe I'll try and see what's up. But thank you for asking, Em. I appreciate it. Paihu, what's up, Paihu? Appreciate you coming through as always. It's okay if you're late, man. You can always jump back in at any time, any point in time, and rewatch, or just join us as we finish off these episodes. M says, I think people need to accept that Sentai is probably going to be a thing of the past. I'm really excited for Dino Fury. What do you think when Dino Fury is premiering? Well, Sentai as a thing in the past, I would assume you're probably referring to being used for Power Rangers. Like, I don't see Super Sentai in general going anywhere, but I get what I definitely understand where you're getting at, M, in regards to the idea of maybe Super Sentai footage just not being utilized anymore. What do I think? When is Dino Fury premiering? I would probably say, I'm going to say the 13th of March. Is that late? I'm going to say the 13th of March. Yeah, I'll stick with the 13th of March. Why not, if I had to guess? Dino also says, not yet, only his old video of him and her is on his channel. Adam been busy a lot with content. Yeah, I've been doing a ton of content, not only for A Plus Morphinominal, but Hero Report. We got a ton of content on our Patreon page too that I've been posting up there as well. So like I'm literally doing a live episode every Saturday for A Plus Morph. We've got Kara Major every week. We've got Stuart that's doing Kamen Rider Saber reviews. I do Go Ranger review for Patreon exclusive only. I do Go Kaiger early access review or reactions for Go Kaiger, and then also comic book reviews on the weeks that they actually do end up dropping. So I myself do like 4 videos a week for A Plus Morphinominal, and then some other stuff as well for Patreon along with Stuart. So we definitely keep ourselves busy around here, man. That's why we always say, like, if you guys support the Patreon in any way, that does give us not only the funds but the production quality to be able to spend our time in doing other videos outside of what we're already doing, type of thing. Like my dream is always at some point in time to become my own manager. Like I still, and to put this in perspective for you guys, I still have a full-time job. I still work 40 hours a week, 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And in the middle of all that, on my lunch times after work, I spend my times doing content for this channel. So, that's one of the reasons why, like, for me, I want to get rid of my full-time job. Like, I honestly would love to be able to just do my YouTube stuff just full time. Not everybody certainly gets that opportunity. And I think that's one of the other reasons why we're trying to get this Patreon off the ground, get supporters of this channel. I've been on YouTube for the past 8 years or so. We just lost our channel, A Plus Opinions, last August or September or so. So we've had to kind of start from the ground up again. So while I definitely have a ton of YouTube experience throughout the years, make no mistake, we are having to rebuild sort of our following from the ground up again. So I would be able to, I would love to be able to do this full time for you guys with your continued support, to be able to give you other, you know, other content, maybe take some requests from you guys, whether that things you want me to react to or review to type of thing, right? Like I want to be able to eventually add that to our Patreon, but with our schedules and at least my schedule being so busy, it's a little bit hard to. So that's where the support from Patreon comes from, because then we can kind of take that additional time and put it towards additional content. So we're always trying to bring up some great stuff for you. So don't worry when I say interviews. Two things when it comes to 2021, guys. Like I'm not really big on New Year's resolutions. But if there is one thing about this year that I personally want to achieve for myself and have a resolution towards, I definitely want to spend more time doing collaborations with other YouTubers, honestly, and more interviews, But listen, you know, you also have to understand that even though I have been doing this for a while, sometimes it is difficult for me to reach out to people. I don't know if that's just who it is. Like, I don't know if there's a fear element involved, you know, that growing up, I was always kind of a shy kid. I feel like I've kind of grown out of that a little bit, but sometimes those initial meetings, those initial collaborations and stuff can be a little bit intimidating to me. And I feel like if there is anything that's maybe held this channel back a little bit, it is that idea of like having to overcome some of your particular fears, if you will. So 2021 for me, I really want it to be the year of collaboration, and I really would like it to be a year of interviews as well. So we'll see what the year has for us, man. But trust me when I say we definitely will continue to go ahead and bring you guys content. Blossom says hip hop keto, wicked. My pal and I are adding that to our Pink Ranger. Yeah, I mean, I just look like that's what Ludi Lin was trying to go for with his little dancing and karate moves there. Looked like he had some hip hop keto for himself. Frankie, what's up, Frankie? He says Dino Fury on Nickelodeon. He's thinking February or March. Yeah, if I had to guess, I'm still thinking maybe around that same time that Zenkaiger's release. So I'm leaning like March 6th, March 13th, which is a Saturday. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get an announcement at that investors meeting on February, the beginning of February. Dino says, Adam, I'm curious, what are you mixed with again? One of my cousins got a fro. I'm actually half black and half Puerto Rican, so that's why my hair is a mixture of like curly and nappy sometimes. Like it can be really curly and all over the place, like especially when it's wet. But once it dries, man, that's the worst. It just becomes like this is it, like dry. Like I wet it earlier just before I went live, but now it's kind of getting dry again. But yeah, no, that's mixed baby's hair right there, man. Half black, half Puerto Rican. Originally from New York. My grandparents are from Puerto Rico. They moved to the States. Had my dad and his brother. My mom born and raised in Bronx and Brooklyn. I was born in Bronx and Brooklyn also. For majority about 10 years or so before I moved out to Jersey. So yeah, my mom's side is black, my dad's side is Puerto Rican. So yeah. Puerto Black, you call me Puerto Black. Used to run around in high school giving myself the nickname Butter Pecan Rican back in the day. You know, we had some fun. We had some fun with it growing up. But yeah. Most people never know what I'm mixed with. I've had people think I was Middle Eastern before. Also, I've had people like, "What are you?" I'm like, "Oh, that's an interesting way of asking." But yeah. Dino also says, from what I've seen from on social media posts by Tessa, they are filming in new locations that we haven't seen before. I do wish they went back to the beach like Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder used to do. Yeah, I wouldn't mind the beach locale to be used again, honestly. But that's cool that they're utilizing some brand new options for them, brand new places. Marcelino says clip shows are a necessary evil that are used to save money for big events, and you're probably right about that, Marcelino. You're probably right about that. They still hit me a certain type of way, but I get it. Hey, Matthew says I'm gonna need to leave early. Just got Shout Factory's Denji Sentai Mega Ranger in the mail, and I need to get that started. Hey, enjoy, Matthew. Have not checked out that series myself, but I certainly hope you enjoy, man. Hatis, what's up, Hatis? Thank you for certainly coming through. You're just smashing your keyboard over there, and that's okay. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming through, Hatis. Thank you very much, man. Alexis, what's up, Alexis? Saying hi. Good to see you in here. Q Ranger fan, I can see. Very nice. Appreciate you joining us today. Let's see here. Alexis did say something. They said, I hope Q Ranger gets adapted into Power Rangers for the 30th anniversary and for the last season of Power Rangers. Listen, as much as I am leaning towards the idea of the Hasbro and Toei split actually coming to fruition, make no mistake, guys. Like, I'm just like you. If that doesn't come to fruition, I still want to be able to see like some of these Super Sentai seasons adapted, right? Like have always wanted to see Q Ranger utilized as sort of like a in space reunion or something like that, or if they wanted to use it as an anniversary season, just like Alexis is saying here, a 30th anniversary season, I think would be marvelous to utilize Q Ranger and maybe highlight some of your other space themed seasons. You know, whether that be SPD or in space, get an opportunity to bring back some of these fan favorite characters. So yeah, the opportunity is certainly there. It's just really an idea as to what's the deal with Hasbro and Toei, guys. Hopefully we'll get some answers as this season, as this year progresses. And that's one of the things that I do think of. I do think 2021 will be another year of incredible incredible announcements that certainly will change the course of Super Sentai and Power Rangers certainly going forward. So we've got a lot of news certainly coming our way going forward. So thank you for your comment there, Alexis, for sure. Blossom said, like I said, Adam, my friend and I are giving unused Sentais a home. Well, I'm glad that they're being utilized at some particular way or another. But yes, good to certainly say that they're not going to be not used at all. So, but other than that, guys, I think that's probably going to go ahead and do it for us here today. So thank you each and every one of you for certainly joining us as we broke down not only the Zenkaiger trailer, but also the cast reveals, the Kinkai Noids, along with some of the amazing articles and news that we wind up having this week. And as always, thank you guys for your participation, for your live viewer questions. And remember, you can send your live viewer questions at any time throughout the week if you certainly want to. If you see something that drops during the week that grabs your attention that you think might be worthy of talking about on A Plus More Phenomenal, send us your questions, guys, again, to aplusmorephenomenal@gmail.com. We sometimes tackle these questions at the end of our Kara Major reviews. Also, if you have a question or a comment about Kara Major, but if you have a question just about Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Tokusatsu in general, send them over anytime. Again, at aplusopinions@gmail.com. At A Plus More Phenomenal, at A Plus More Phenomenal @gmail.com at any particular time, guys. And again, if you want to go ahead and support this channel with our Patreon, certainly go ahead and check out our tiers. Patreon.com/A Plus Opinions. We've got early access and exclusive content, guys. Again, tiers from $1 to $5 to $10. We all have something available for you guys if you want to go ahead and participate in your own little way. So thank you very much for that, guys. But other than that, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us here today. If anything, we certainly will be back for you guys next weekend, going live at noon Central Time as always. So until then, guys, do me a big favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A plus and may the power protect you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.